Welcome back, everybody. I am the Jimmer, and this is going to be my tutorial video on how to make tanks in FTD that are just a little bit less derpy. Still looking to have some derp action going on, but it's a little bit of a trick I picked up mostly from Drapa. He submitted some submarines in the propane tournament, and they used a really interesting method of movement where there's no actual AI controlling the movement. It's all done with ACBs, and I was kind of inspired by his design there, and so I decided to apply that to my entry for the tank tournament, and it actually worked pretty well. So I figured I would make a little tutorial video showing people how to do it. It's a little bit more of an advanced technique in from the depths, but I think once you see how it works, it's really not that hard to put to use yourself. So enough yammering on. Let's go ahead and start doing this here. For a tank, tank movement, we're just going to have power wheels on both sides of the tank, and no turning wheels. We're simulating a track. So I started off with just the basic hull design, and then these are just power wheels all the way down the sides. And what makes this work is you want to use... Actually, I'm not even sure if you have to have one of these installed, but it works through the complex controller. We're gonna set some complex controller options. Actually, I think you do have to have it in order to get the option. So no, you've got them here either way. I don't know, I'm gonna put them on there just to be safe, and you can test that for yourself whether you actually need the complex controller block or if you can get away without it. All right, and so what I'm gonna do is this is the trickiest part, is setting up the controls on the wheels. So I'm gonna go off to the wheels. I'm on the wheels on the left-hand side, the passenger side. If you're the fuck, I drive cars. The driver's side, if you're in the United States. And what we want to do is, so I'm going to use the typical from the depths controls, where this is forwards, backwards, left, right. And how this works is, so when I want to turn left, I'm going to hit J. I'm going to go in here, and when I hit J, I want these wheels to go forwards. And conversely, when I hit L, I want these wheels to go backwards. That'll give me a really tight turning radius. I can actually spin in spot if you got your weight set up right. You won't move at all. You'll just sit there and spin. Sit and spin, if you will. And then I also, on forwards, I want to go forwards, and backwards, I want to go backwards. And to get the different colors, I'm just clicking. You can just click through to get blue is unassigned, so nothing happens. Green is positive, so the wheel's going to roll forwards. And red is negative, the wheel's going to roll backwards. And Nick has graciously added this nice little feature here, spread to all touching. So if I hit this, and now I go all the way down here, all these are going to have those settings, so they're right next to each other. And if I go to the other side, where they're not touching, the settings won't be there at all, which is really nice. And you can also do the copy and paste here down at the bottom. Save you a little bit of time if your wheels aren't touching. Say if you have like a little bit of a raised wheel, like right here or something. Or do something like that fancy. This one won't be counted as touching, so you'd have to copy and paste that in. Gotta make everything pretty again. Alright, and then on this side I just wanted to do the opposite. This is still going to be forwards and backwards, but I want to go forward when I turn when I want to turn right. Or actually, am I doing this backwards? Yeah, no, I want that. And then list to be positive. Yeah, I think I set that up wrong on the other side. yeah, bear with me. I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I got a little bit of a cold. Gonna do some derpy stuff. Who am I kidding? I'd probably do it anyways. So yeah, that should make sense now. So if I want to turn right, that's gonna go backwards. Yeah, this looks good. So now I can actually jump in and pilot this thing. So, oh, I don't have an engine. Oh, wait, do I need an engine? I shouldn't need. I may need power for this to work. Oh yeah, the wheels do need power. That's right. I'm thinking spin blocks. Spin blocks will work without power, but wheels definitely need it. Let's just place one of my prefabs in here. Sure. Put this right there. That works. And some fuel. Alright, that works. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. So that's forwards. This next thing's actually pretty fast. Backwards, and then there's left. See, I'm not really moving, I'm just sitting and spinning. It's very fast. And then you can also like do moving turns. It works where the commands kind of cancel out, and the left side just drags and the right side goes. So you're still going forward and sort of doing a rolling turn as opposed to a really tight turn, which is really cool. And this is fun. I like driving around like this. It's really smooth. I feel like the turning wheels can kind of be really jerky and have a tendency to flip you over, whereas when you control this way, it feels a little bit more stable. At least the way I built. So this is all fun and good, but ultimately we want this to be AI controlled, or at least pseudo AI controlled. So we're going to use some ACBs to do some magic here. So we're gonna have just gonna kind of set. Actually, I don't want to write that one right there. Yeah. So I want to set like the minimum range. This is, I mean, you probably do this different ways if you want, like different tank behaviors. If you wanted a railing tank, you could just kind of set, you know, always be going forwards, or something like that. But I like my tanks to kind of get close enough and then face the enemy, and then I'll put a whole bunch of armor in the front here and have a little bit lighter armor on the sides and the back, and then just have the tank always put that heavy armor usage as a shield in the front. And so I want to get I don't know, like 400 or 500 meters away from the enemy and then stop. So if enemy range, activate if enemy range greater than, well, let's say 300. We will go to, this is a little bit tricky part. Oh, I've got to pop it up. It's, I'm terrible. I don't know the letter to number on things. So I'm going to have to, you might get some screen flicker. I'm going to just bring up my little cheat sheet real quick. Here we go. I'm just typing letter numbers into Google like a mongoloid. And so I want forward is 9 and backwards is 11. And how that works is 9 corresponds with I, H, I, J, K, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on and so forth. And excuse me. I ends up being the 9th number, so when the enemy range is greater than 300 meters, I'm going to go forwards. And on the other ACB, you want to set activate when enemy range less than, say, 250, because we don't want the enemy to get too close, especially if it's using crams or rams or anything close range. You want to keep it in our range. So you want to set this appropriately. You could set a tank with a cram, you know, to get really close and then sit there and fire that cram shell. Or you can do like a railgun sniper and have it set to, you know, stay 1,000 meters away from the nearest enemy and just snipe away. For this hypothetical, I'm gonna say about you want to be between 250 and 300 meters. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back into control, complex controller, and backwards. What did I say? It was 11, I think. Yeah. So, oops, that's not what I wanted. 11 corresponds with K, and that will, when the enemy is closer than 250 meters, we will reverse. Alright, and now that we've got that set up, we'll go forwards and backwards, but we won't turn. In order to turn, we're going to do a little bit of trickery, and this is really the whole crux of the video. This is something that I saw, or Drava told me he was using. He actually explained his control method, I think, in the propane tournament thread. What we're going to do is do a new object and do a one-axis turret and put this in here. And you can actually put your whole gun on here and it'll work just fine. I'm actually going to just build just a really terrible cram gun just to kind of illustrate how this works. Alright, and that is just what I could throw together. We'll throw some metal blocks on here just to make it look a little nicer, but you want to make your own guns. This is not an efficient setup, but it'll get the point across. So we're going to use this turret to actually engage some automated control blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the bottom of the turret. And I actually also need, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and put an AI. We do need an AI to control a turret, but we don't need like a vehicle AI. Just an AI really is all we need. The mainframe. So I'll put the mainframe, local weapon controller, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw on a card slot with target prioritization, and you can set this however you want. I'm going to set it to go after the tank with the most blocks, and that's going to control the turret. And we'll be safe builders and put a failsafe on here. Alright, so now this is controlling one weapon, that's this turret, and it's going to aim this turret after whatever is the largest vehicle on the battlefield. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little flag off of this. And you can kind of do it, like, it'll be more sensitive if it's longer, but you can get it only has to be one block right here. But if I build it a little longer, it gives me a little bit more room to work. And I think once you see this, it's not all that complicated. So I'm going to have two control blocks right here, and you can build them to different sizes, or put them like closer or further depending on how much you want, or how quickly you want the tank to turn, or how much you want it to be a little bit more stable. So I'm going to look at so I'm going to activate when object in front. So this is going to look 1-2 meters in front. So if there's anything if there's anything in this space, it's going to activate the turn. So I'm going to go to control, complex controller. I'm going to put in, okay, so I want it, if this turns this way, I want the tank to turn right, so it's going to keep front of the tank pointing forward. And right is the L key, which is 12. Yes, I did have to go look that up. Alright, so that is 12. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on this side, except I'm going to do the J key. So, object in front within 2 meters. I'm going to do a complex control key that is turn left, which is J, which is 10. Alright. And so now I'm just going to use the avatar to kind of demonstrate how this works. See, I'm turning left, and automatically it turns in, or it kicks in the little flag. The little flag turns, enters the space that this is looking for, and it outputs the turn key. So we're going to be fully automated without a vehicle controller AI, just the combat AI, which is nice because, let's face it, those things tend to be a little bit derpy. And then one thing I like to do is I like to put down hard limits. So I'm going to put down a block here and here. Oops. And that way this flag, if it turns, it won't ever, it's like physically blocked by this. And yeah, let's go. Let's see this here. See what I mean? See how even though I'm looking that way, the turret can't go past that block, and because it can derp out, and this will turn behind, and then it's not in the path that this is looking for. There's nothing there, so it's not going to trigger the turn, and you can get turned around that way. But if you put those hard limits in, no matter what, you're gonna turn right away. And then let's back in here. All right, stop controlling the turret. And then one other thing you can do is you can adjust these control blocks here. Oops, flip the screen around. Alright, you can put these, like if I put this, I can put this control block here and make the whole setup a little bit more compact. It'll fit in a hole that is 5 wide instead of 7 wide. And then with the little bit wider setup we have here, it allows us to do is I can say, okay, I don't want to turn until the turret has turned a little bit. So I'll put 1.5 meters, or you could even go down to 1 if you don't want it to turn very much. It can be useful. Oops. It can be useful if you your tank is turning too much and throwing off your accuracy. You can see now I've got a little bit of play in here. I can look around a little bit, and it won't actually turn the tank until I get, turned over to the side. And you can see it hitting the hard limit there. So that gives real smooth control of the tank. And then the I think that's actually all we need to do. And then the last little bit here, let's go ahead and spawn in an enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the enemy off. That's not the best tank. I should have made it a little heavier. But you can see now we're moving. We're also turning. I'm not in control of the turret. The tank is totally doing this all by itself. And it's pointing its armored front at the enemy. Kind of keeping that range and firing. It doesn't have. I don't have any ammo in this. Put some ammo in it so we can watch some explosions while I ramble on. I guess I do want a couple of these. There we go. Oh, yeah, that cram had a long time to charge. And that is my tutorial on how to build a less derpy tank. And from the depths here, I'm gonna crank this up back to 2, and you'll see it'll keep the front of the tank pointed right at the enemy. And so you can make use of realistic tank designs where they put a whole bunch of armor in the front and less armor in the back, where you're not expecting to take too many shots. With the regular AI, it just does all sorts of weird shit. It will come in and do what you want, and then for no reason at all, it will turn and like reverse into the enemy and do all sorts of weird things. I guess in the actual game, it's not that big a deal. On tournament designs, it's very frustrating. So I hope I get this out in time. I know we've got like 4 or 5 days left for the newest tank tournament, so you guys can make use of this in your designs and hopefully build a little bit tougher designs because of it. I was tempted to sit on this idea until the tournament was over, but I didn't think that was very charitable. So hopefully you guys take advantage and put this to use. I guess one last thing, I'm going to show off the tank I was able to come up with using this. Got a whole bunch of tanks now, and shooty scooty. And my usual subtle color scheme, and this is my newest entry. It's going to replace the Big Decker. Big Decker, the gun was so powerful, but it was just too easily taken out. This one should be a little bit more durable. It's got this little shield out here in the front, kind of shaped like a bulldozer. It's got 2 guns, one fixed gun here and one on the turret here. And this turret actually operates the controls. There's no actual combat card on here. It's just the regular AI, and this thing's actually pretty powerful. I was definitely happy with it. Spawning something not too difficult. Yeah, I haven't played this enough to know what's really strong. You can see here, it'll like we said, this one's a little bit slower. It's a lot heavier, but it moves straight towards the enemy. Keeps the front facing the enemy. Keeps that shield in action. And I'm not controlling this at all. I'm completely off controls. All those cramps got really close. And not the strongest guns, but I think with the rest of the fleet, it'll do fairly well. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and are able to put this idea to use on your designs. I am the Jimmer as always. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and we'll have some more from the depths of goodness in the future. Alright, I'll see you then.